Okay. Welcome to the daf.
After all those technical...
exactly. We're holding today in Basra of Kusam Vav. We'll start again from the Mishnah on the Kusam with base. So we'll get into the Indian. The Mishnah Kusam with base says like this. Kasuv boy Zuzin Meya the Inun Salin Esrim. He says, what we have, you have 100 zuz, which is 20 sloim. The problem is like this. Sloim is usually every selah supposed to be 4. Right. So how many sloim you have in a money? It's 25, not 20. Here it says 20. Mm-hmm. So the Chor does not shtim. So you give him the less, which is has only 20, because you go with a lower amount. Mm-hmm. If it's the opposite, Zuzi Meo Deinun Tlosim Sloim, he says 100, which is 30, it has to be 25. Ein lo elo money, he gives only money, always has the minimum amount. Yeah. The Rishonim already point out over here, what about Tfois Loshon and Rishon and Tfois Loshon Achrin that we usually have? He said here, in the simple understanding is, here it's different because here he's explaining himself within, he says, this is what I mean. I'm saying this is this, not two different words that are contradicting each other. He's explaining himself. This is this. So therefore we don't say it's a stiro and he means the lower amount or the larger amount. Kesef zuzim the inun v'nimchok. He says, I'm giving you X dollars. And the X is erased. I don't know how much is it. Ein pachos mishtayim. Then it has to be at least 2. Kesef sloim the inun v'nimchak. It says sloim and is erased. Ein pachos mishtayim. It has to be at least 2. The koinois, which is another type of coin, the inun v'nimchak. Ein pachos mishtayim. So the Tiferes Yisrael Mishnah says the chiddush is don't say because it's erased. So who knows? Maybe there was some change from the coin somehow, and the coin was only a cheshbon. We don't say that. We say I'm assuming amen these coins is dollars, pounds, euros. It is what it is. I don't know the number, so I'll give you the minimum number, which is 2. Milamala matay matamon. What is malal mato? Is the top and the bottom of the star. Is the star? You write the star, and then the bottom, as the Rashbam points out, you summarize the star on the bottom. So if you have a contradiction between the top and the bottom, you always go based on the bottom. The bottom is the one who gives you the actual thing. So why does it say the top? So if you will have a letter missing from the bottom, so then you'll learn it from the top. Because the top is a summary of the whole star, and I'm missing something, I can assume that probably whatever it says in the top says in the bottom, and we'll see in the Gemara what exactly I'm going to be learning from the top. So look at the Gemara. Tanu Rabbana. Kesef, the Bach takes the word Omar. Kesef ain't pachois midino. Midino kesef. Midino kesef. That's regular kesef is dino kesef. That's the minimum amount. Kesef dinarim. Vidinarim kesef. If he says kesef dinarim kesef, one of these will show us. Or dinarim. Okay.
Because it becomes so specific afterwards.
Ain't pachois mishnei dinarim kesef. It has to be at least 2 dinar kesef. But if it says kesef bedinarim, right now the one that stands is with the base. In pachos mishnei dinarim dehav kesef, which means I'm going to give you silver the value of 2 golden coins. That's what it means. Shtei dinarim dehav kesef. It means 2 coins worth of gold in silver.
So that's 50 zuz?
I believe so. I don't remember. Yeah.
This page is really based on those numbers.
Yeah, in Zav, it doesn't really. This daf is not of Camino. You'll see in this daf one of Camino. It's more than silver, exactly, because we have a whole Tosis that has the Shita Zav is double kesef. That's one place that says that. It's that chain. It says 25. He does a whole cheshbon. You get to it. Another sugya over here because there's also not of Camino for the sugya, but in the idea that the gold is more than silver. Omar kesef in pachois midina kesef. So kesef has to be dinar kesef. Maybe he is a piece of silver. So it's a nisko, piece of silver. It says according. Here Taisus asks, Taisus says, what do you mean? Don't we go based on the minimum? We should go based on the minimum. As the Gemara is going to tell us right away, and we give next Talmud, that you always go based on the minimum amount possible. So just go based on the minimum. So Taisus wants to brings two explanations. Yesterday I mentioned only one of them. Taisus brings two explanations. Either that the Gemara now understands that a piece of silver is worth less than a coin. So the Gemara says, why don't you go with the minimum? It says Matbeah. Or the Gemara understands when it says the word kesef, the word kesef doesn't mean coins. The kesef means a piece of silver. So that's what the Gemara is saying. Maybe that's what it means as the Pasha Shot. So it says Matbeah. It says a coin. That's what we're talking about a coin. Says the Gemara ve'emo priti. So priti is a smaller amount of coins. Prutos.
He said it is worth. It is worth.
Lenny's on it.
Lenny's on it. Tell him to go on the link. Tell him to go
Use the
on
link.
Don't
use the link.
It's on a link.
The link which is on the chat.
Send it the link.
Okay, so Gemara says, "Ve'ema priti or boba sagi priti de kaspa." We don't use that. We don't. That is not a currency which is being used, which is the small coins of silver.
Okay.
Tanu Rabbanan. They have gold, ain't pachos with dinar dav. It means a dinar of gold. They have dinarim v'dinarim dav. Now you're saying gold dinarim dav. Ain't pachos mishnei dinarim dav. So it has to talk about 2 dinarim dav. But if it says dinarim dav bet dinarim, so again I'm using the lashon, which is the base, and the base is the bet dinarim means you're giving a valuation of something or something else. So then what? Ein pachos b'shnei dinarim kesef dav. So then I'm giving you, still doing the words I said before, just the opposite. I'm giving you coins of gold worth the value of 2 coins of silver. Because I said bet dinar. I'm taking the dinar, I'm not giving you the actual dinar. I'm giving you the valuation. What's valuation mean? I'm giving you the dinarim of, I'm giving you in the valuation of silver, but I'm giving you 2 in gold. Similar question I had before. Maybe it's a piece of gold. Who said is a golden coin? It says a coin. Easy solution. Says the one of priti. Maybe he's talking about the smaller coins of prutos. Says the Gemara, priti dedavo lo yavdinchi. People don't make priti dedav. You don't make this coins, the smaller coins of gold. Says the one now, the Gemara quotes, Zahav bedinrim ein pachois mibishnei dinarim kesef zahav. So I say gold, and I'm doing in the value of dinarim. What does it mean? It means is 2 dinarim kesef, meaning the value of 2 dinarim kesef, but in golden coins. Vehemo dehovo prichi betrei dinar dahavo. Because what does the Gemara understand? The Gemara understands when you say the base makes it into valuation. Meaning I'm saying this is not, I'm not giving you an actual thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about bet. I'm giving it to you in a value. So the Gemara says we're talking about silver, meaning I'm giving you gold in the value of silver. So who said, maybe I'm giving you gold in the value of gold. Hi, what are you talking about? I'm giving you gold in the value of the other pricha. The other pricha means crushed gold, which means basically the gold itself. I'm giving you the coins of gold in the value of gold. Says, you're right. It may mean that, but it may mean also the silver. So therefore, I'm saying and I'm going with the lower valuation. Says the Gemara now here we have 2 girsos. The girso that we have, which they're not so different than each other. So it's not, we'll see one nekuda is a difference. Our girso is ratio diktani kesef bedinrim ein pogos mishnei dinarim zov kesef. Talk about the first brisa. Taisus here mentions, interesting, it's 2 different brisas. So why does it say ratio? Ratio means it's the same brisa at the top. So Taisus says we do find such a thing, because it could be it was mentioned together. And Taisus says sometimes brings other examples, we find 2 brisas that are next to each other. So one says on the other, ratio. This is ratio referred to the first one. Okay. So the one says there, when it says dinarim zov kesef, Ema kaspo nischo betrayed dinori kaspo kamar. Maybe it means a silver platter, not nisko, into dinori kesef. That's what it means. So that's how our girsa is. Meaning, now that you're saying that it could mean something else, so by silver it should mean something else, right? Now, so the according to this girsa that we have over here, Avada clearly comes out that the nisko, the piece of silver, is valued less than the coins. Because now what the Gemara just said, if I don't know what to do, you go based on the lower amount. The Gemara says, okay, so maybe by silver it means a silver platter. What do you mean? We go based on the lower amount. You see from here clearly, nisko is a lower amount. You see mentioned before, the Tosfos debates it. So according to this girsa, this will not work with all the opinion Tosfos. Look at second in the Rishbam. The Rishbam says, has a different girsa. The girsa of the Rishbam is the last white line on the top. Yochi reishadami. Doesn't say any other words that we mentioned. We're not quoting anything. The word just says reishadami. Also, the beginning should be what? It says the Rishbam, bein the idich brayso kamaiso. Talk about the first brayso. Tiktani kesef bedin rein pochad mishnei dinorim tedav kesef. That's what we said originally. Which is like our girso, similar to our girso. But the Rishbam holds, you don't see the girso, and therefore it includes the next sentence. The second brayso. So meaning that when it says that dinarim means regular dinarim zav, I don't say bed dinarim, it means dinar zav, who said maybe means shtei dinar kesav. So when the word just asks, once you tell me that when I have two valuations, it can mean anything. This is value this value this, and I just go in the lower amount. So who said in the beginning, the first price, so that I'm going to go with a gold with silver worth gold, maybe silver worth something else. It says the Gemara Ma'avashi, Reishe the cost of dinri, save with the cost of dinri, meaning or dinarim. That's as Moshe mentioned. So dinri, when it says with the word dinri, that means gold. When it means dinarin, that means silver. So it always goes based on what is written in the shtar. If it says dinri, meaning, and as the Rashba mentioned before, when the Gemara says in the ratio, it says I'm giving you the kesef bed dinrim, it says about not bedinorim, but bedinri, without the nun sufi at the end. Right. And that's why I know it's gold. Not because it's be, as the one understood at the beginning. One understood whenever it says be means this is valued with this. What does this mean? It's gold and silver. No, this doesn't work that top shot. You always go based on the lower valuation. So how do I know when it's gold or silver? Depends on which word you're using. If I'm using the word dinarim, so then it means silver. If I use the word dinri, it means gold. It always goes based on that lashon, and then depends on the price, is what it says. So when the Gemara Mishnah said before, kesef bedinri, kesef means kesef bedinri. Not the nun sufis. That's how I know it's gold. And that immediately always goes based on what he actually said. Very interesting over here, the Tosfos discusses if the reason why we differentiate between dinri and dinarim is because dinri is nismach. Like in Lashon HaKodesh, dinri, whenever you have nismach and so whatever shot is, one is leaning on the other. So if I have, you have bote ha'anoshim, right? Bote is nismach, is being leaning on the next word. So the pshat is because dinri means it's nismach, the dinarim of zav. Right. Dinri zav. Is that the reason? Or no, we're talking about Lashon Aramaic, just dinri means, Aramaic means gold.
The latter makes more sense because the first one, why would you make a difference? It could be the have dinri kesef.
Very good. You can say also dinar kesef.
Right.
So the push, according to this pshat, will be the difference between dinar zav and dinar kesef will be the difference is that the Lashon usually people use is talking about, no, so stam dinarim is kesef. When I say gold, I say dinari kesef, zav. So you usually zav will say the word zav. That's why dinari means.
Say it, then you're not saying it.
Yeah, I agree. So, because that's what happened. So in the shtarviv in the Lashon, that when I say dinari, like I'm talking about zav. When I say dinarim alone, it's dark kesef. That's one way to understand it. Or in Ichira means Lashon Aramaic, and it's not because of that.
Right, that'd be easier.
Yeah. Okay, says the Gemara, Uminot temro the shani being dinari or being dinari dinari. How do I know there's a difference? And then dinari means or dinari means gold and dinari means kesef. How do I know that? Says the Gemara. I'll tell you how now. The Tanya says in the Brayso. Haisha shoyu aleo sofek chomesh leidos sofek chomesh zivos. So this right away brings us to, we see such a sentence, we get very scared, because that right away reminds us of Maseches Kinim and Maseches Krisus, we'll get to, and in Erchin, when you have the cheshbonis of how does a woman get to 5, we're not going into this, we'll relax, we're good, over here we don't have to get to this. The Gemara just says, we have here a woman who has 5 leidos mesupokos. She's not sure if she actually had a birth, means she had a miscarriage, it has to be a miscarriage, or that she had or it was just a regular period, she's not sure. So 5 times that happened, as the Rashbam points out, we're going into the sugi over there, we're talking about that she had it after the day 41, because within the first 40 days, every leidus joined together to one carbon, that's the halacha, as we learn in Maseches Kinim. But once you get to 41, it's a new leida. So if she has another suffix, she may have to bring another carbon as a new leida, maybe yes, maybe not, she's not sure. Similar to Chamesh Zivos, what's the Zivos can be the Raiso. When a woman says 3 days, consecutive days, doing Yemei Zivo, which is the 11 days after the 7 days of Nida. So a woman who sees her period, first 7 days, she's Nida. Then she's 11 days Yemei Zivo. If she sees 3 days, consecutive days over there, she becomes a Sava. She did see 3 days consecutive, but she's not sure if Yemei is over or not, and she saw it happen there 5 times. So 5 times, she may be a Zova, that has to be a carbon. So she has a suffix of Leido, 5 Leidos, 5 Zivos. So then everybody agrees with via korban echad. She brings only 1 korban for cheles bezvochim, and then she can eat korbanos. Ve'ein ashar alei choifer. She doesn't have to bring any more. Why? Because she's a suffix, and therefore what? As the Rashbam says, so what does she bring? Look at we'll see 2 Rashbams over here. The first Rashbam is the last one in the narrow lines. Via korban echad litor mitumos. So what she's bringing? Tor lo'ilo, the tor lechatos, which is the korbanos that your letters can bring. Don't eat it. You bring a chatas soif and sofek. You can't eat it. So you bring the korban, you don't eat it. The rest of the korbanos she ignores. How? Says the Rashbam, the fact we're letting her to bring a korban is basically almost like she needs to eat kachim. We're not going to keep her tumah for the rest of her life. So bring a korban. I don't need to bring a korban. So maybe it's chulim ba'azara. Bring it just to have something. Should I eat chatos azul lekvura? You bury it. She doesn't eat it. K'fani v'tar b'korban echad k'avur m'sechas krisus. During the isha tumeah v'chay v'chavish tfilos tfilah achas v'teres. She becomes tar in 1. Tulu ma'isi chad v'sovek l'avio v'esapsul. She's tar right away. And therefore, I told her, just bring 1 korban. So she's not sure what to bring. Bring 1 and you're good to go. Okay. Now, she doesn't have a suffix. She knows vadai. She needs to bring 5 korbanos for later. Or chamesh zivus vadois. 5 zivus. She knows clearly she has to bring. So then what should she do? 1 korban she brings, she gets zvachim. But she's still obligated to bring the rest. That's the halacha. Bring 1, she can eat, and then she has obligated to bring the rest. Mai says in the story, what happened was the woman had to bring so many korbanos. Everyone has a leido or a ziva had to bring it.
And they came up Yom Tovim.
And come Yom Tovim, as we'll see, very good, that they were afraid about the Acher, they didn't want to miss out. So they all came and they said, let's bring all korbanos, let's bring whatever we have. And the huge demand, and especially you have all the Nedarim and all the Nedavos, and the korbanos Chagiga, and the korbanos Simcha, and the korbanos Riyah, and there is a huge demand. What happens when you have a huge demand? Prices go up.
Can't find any birds.
Dinari Zov, so right, he came with Dinari Zov, and it became very, very expensive. It was Dinari Zov. Omar Shimon Gamliel, so comes Shimon Gamliel and announces, Hamoy Nazeh, B'Pasha Hamoy Nazeh is a shul. Which shul? Interesting, this discussion, without going too much into, the Rashbam says, Bebeis HaMikdosh Nishba. So he's doing a shmur Beis Hamikdash. Im olin alayla, I'm not going to go to sleep tonight at shiur b'dinarim until it changes the price to dinarim. First of all, before we go on to see what happened, here is the raya of the Gemara. It went to dinaris of.
Yeah, it shows the dinar.
And it went to dinarim, which is silver. So I'm going to make sure that it's not going to be gold to be silver. So you see here that dinari without a nun sufis is of, and here you see that you do nismach, dinar is of, and dinarim is kesef. Okay, that's the raya. So now the Shmuel is saying, Nichas lebeis din v'limei, he went in beis din and he taught. Ha'isha shayula chamesh ledois v'dois. Chamesh zivus v'dois. She has clearly 5 karbonis that she has to bring. Via korban echot, it's only one. V'chaz v'zvachim, that she eats zvachim. Ve'ein ashar le'achayvo. It's not chayvo anymore.
Drops the man by 80%.
Right? Now, what's the reason? Why in ashar le'achayvo? So the Rashbam over here, if you look at the last Rashbam in the home, it says, in ashar le'achayvo, time with them Shimon, they fix it over here, Ke Rabbi Akiva. Tomer also, Tomer al-achas v'tipater, far shows a breakdown. In other words, Rabbi Akiva's shita over there is that, meaning in the Mesugyas, that you don't have to bring 5 karbonos, bring 1 karbon is good enough.
So we're not changing that it's a dirais, so we're just changing who we're holding. Right?
Yeah. Oh, so what does it mean? Shimon holds that way. So what is the big story over here? He just held that way. So Pashto Kutir Rashbam means everybody else held differently, and Shimon said, I'm going to come and announce to the tzibur, that's not the halach. Rashi learns there, in Meseches Krisis, Rashi learns that Shimon Gamliel did not hold like Rabbi Akiva. But he held Ar Shah. He said, I'm going to paskin like the Kula in order to avoid in order to make people not lose money.
Does he need Rav Shimon to hold over Rosh Hashanah? In other words, do you need to have a das yachid or not?
L'chur. You can't just make up a l'chur. L'chur. We'll get to that in a moment. I'll tell you in a second why. It could be connects to the next discussion when I get to. Okay. But that's what Rashi learns. So Rashi learns he did not hold like him, but he passed in that way because of the tzurech tzibur. He really didn't hold like that. That was the halacha. So here this brings interesting discussion in the Poskim. The Magen Avraham brings in the name of the Tzemach Tzedek. Tzemach Tzedek, Akadmoim. The Magen Avraham quote the Tzemach Tzedek is not the Chilbavitcher one, which I think was after the Magen Avraham, but it's definitely right, of course. So he goes, and the Magen Avraham is quoting the Tzemach Tzedek Akadmoim, which is a Rishon, and he brings that there was a time that the Goyim increased the price of the fish. And the shaila is, can you tell everybody not to eat fish on Shabbos?
Or eat once instead of twice.
He said he spoke about not eating fish on Shabbos at all. But take away, people do not eat fish on Shabbos, no need to eat fish on Shabbos. So the Tzemach Tzedek says that Magen brings the halacha. Yes, and he brings, this is the raya. Because you see that they changed the halacha based on that. Says the Chazal Sofer, so it says there's a big difference. And I think one of the titles is what you're pointing out. Because the Chazal says there, if you're going to say not to eat fish, people will never eat fish. Here, I'm just telling you, instead of being 5 quarters, being 1. And then he says, if I'm not mistaken, that also there I have a sheet to say that way. Here, fish, nobody holds you can't eat fish. I mean, you have to eat fish. So don't come and say not to eat fish at all. So then Yeshiva said something else. You should say, like you said, eat a little bit less, take only a little small bit. And that's how they're gonna people are not gonna buy so much fish. But interesting discussion with the Achronim based on this Gemara. Could I come and change the halacha in order to make sure the price go down?
It's a big difference. It's like a Rosh Hashanah. You took hay on Shabbos or not. You have 2 days, okay. So at least you're not taking.
You're it's a somewhat.
You're not taking away completely.
Right. Here you take right. Right. Okay. There's a discussion over here as well. Taisus brings what exactly does he hold? Does he hold like a different sheet? Does not hold like a different sheet. Taisus discusses over here, and you have a fascinating netziv, the Merim Yisodeh, that explains. He goes into the description of the idea. That's where he goes into the Baal Ta'acher, because he explains because there was before the Yom Tov, and everybody came in the same karbanis. And really, what Rishon said, everybody calm down. Right now, you can do 1 and you're good. And then later, after you're going to bring it, but you're not going to have a Baal Ta'acher. That's what he wants to explain. So he didn't take away completely the halacha. He just gave out that leniency that you don't have to worry about Ta'acher. Okay, so what happened because of that? So the Gemara in Daf Kuf Zachvon with base. The Hondu Kinim Boy Bayoim Berivasayim. What does it mean Berivasayim? As the Rashbam says, if you want to see the Rashbam inside, Berivasayim, Berivis dinar, a quarter of a dinar. Shnei Toyim Beriv a dinar, Dainu Memches Prutus. It's 48 Prutos. The Kufat Sadik Beis Prutus Bedinas we'll see soon. So you're getting a quarter of that. Beriv a dinar. The Chura, he did it less than what he intended. He said it's going to be what?
No, 1/100th less. We would have had 40. One dinar zahav is 4,800 prutos, and it goes to 48 prutos.
But he wanted it to be 1 dinar kesef.
Right. So
And it's only right.
Right.
Well, that was it. So he achieved more than he asked for.
Yeah.
He wanted to do 1 dinar, he got to do a quarter of it.
Great job.
Says the Gemara, Kasuv milamala. We learned in the Mishnah that when you have the words at the top of the shtar, and then the words in the summary, so the Tachton will teach on the Elyon. So explains the Gemara. Torah Baron. Yilma the Tachton in the Elyon beois achas, avaloi b'shtei yisirs. Hey, the Tachton learns with the Elyon 1 letter, not 2 letters. Astais points out, by the way, that the Elyon, really the main shtar is the Tachton. We learn from the Tachton. But the Elyon can give you an indication if there's something missing. I don't know exactly what the Tachton says. So says the Gemara, the Tachton will learn from the Elyon in 1 letter, but not 2 letters. Kegoin, what's the case? Chanon michanani, ve'onon mi'anani. Meaning, I'm listening, it says Chanan, but I'm not sure, is it Chanan or it's Chanani? Look at the top. The top says Chanani with a Yud, so therefore the bottom also means Chanani. It says, I have Anan, I'm not sure it's Anan or Anani. Look at the top, you'll figure it out. Says the Gemara, my Shino Shtei Seer is Deloy. Why, if it's 2 letters, you don't want to learn from it? Tir Misra Mishem Ben Arboy Seers. So I'll tell you why. Because when you have a 4-letter name, not 3, by us you talk about 3 letters, Chanan. So you have a 4-letter name, and then man missing 2 letters. I don't want to rely on the Elyon for half the name. I want to rely. We need to rely on less than half. Yach, he says, Moris Achaz Dami, also 1 letter. If you don't want to rely on half, so why 1 letter is okay? Well, sometimes you have a name like Don or God, like we learned in this week's Pasha, it's 2 letters, and you're not going to know if it's Don or it's God. Right? Like Dal, could be with a space in front of the back. What is the Dal referring to? If you don't want to rely on the Tachton for half of the word, so you can't do it even with 1 letter. So Ella Shtei Seers Ayu Taimo Tir Misra Mishem Ben Sholosh Seers Bavli Ruba Dishmo. Meaning, I don't want to rely on the Elyon for the majority. For half is okay. So 2 letters may be a majority of a word.
Right, but the problem is when you have 3.
Because when you have 3 letters. But if I have only 2, so 1 letter is never going to be the majority. It's going to be only half. There's no name less than 2 letters. So it's going to be max half. Half I'm willing to rely on the Elyon. More than half not. That's what the Gemara concludes. That's why I'm relying on the Elyon only for 1 letter. Now what is exactly the case that I'm relying on the Elyon? The Rashbam, if you look at the Rashbam says, it says, Yilma Tachton Elyon Bois Achas, says the Rashbam, Shechosor Mina Tachton, right? Kegoy Chanani Chanani Ani Manani. And then good looks. He says it's missing. Doesn't say the word. Doesn't say what erase. And he says it more clearly 2 Rashbams later. The Havile Ruba Dishmo. The Kulai Vaday Lo Elfir Me'el. You know, look at the top. Shishtei Yisiros Lo Yichiser HaSofer. Sofer did not skip 2 letters. V'inosa Moment Lemish Shmoy Kach K'mosh Kosav HaTachton. We'll go with the one who has that name. This already introduces the next part we want to talk about. Is you have here 2 people. One is name is Chanon. One is name is Chanani. And the question is, who does the guy mean to give it to? Okay, so the Rashbam says the letters are missing, not erased. Toys Pashas, what does it mean? Because it says if it's erased, obviously it's not Chanan.
Right.
That's the Chulos the Rashbam referring to. Toys learns that it is erased. Toys says,
that's it, Ben, whatever.
what?
Definitely not.
Ben, so.
Pashas mean.
You can sign an 8, just say.
Right, so.
Father's name 8, so missing the whole thing is okay.
Interesting discussion over here, which we'll get to in a moment, is that really shtoris is, I mean, in this case, I'm not referring to your question, because I'll get to that in a moment. Pashas here, we didn't write. He says, give the Chan. My good friend Chan. or maybe he has, they both have the same father name. So, We don't have a solution through that.
Right.
So the Tosis learns it was erased.
Invisible then.
It was erased. I don't know yet.
What's erased? The yud is erased.
The Yud is erased. Yud is erased.
So is there a nun seifis in the Chanaan?
So you see over here that we don't have a nun seifis, and it doesn't bother us. It doesn't bother us because people sometimes write without a nun seifis. It's a good if you have, why don't you have a nun seifis? Today the will not be because everybody's makpid today with a nun seifis. Those days not necessarily they were so makpid in it. So he says, okay, so Tosis really this is interesting. The kudetz is erased or missing. Now there's an interesting discussion in the poskim. Who is holding right now to the shtar? Is Chanan holding on to the shtar? Or it's a third party holding on to the shtar? The small learns that it's third parties. Third parties, what should I do? Should I give the Chanan or Chanani?
Right.
So then I say, let's talk to the alien, etc. But if Chanan is holding on to the shtar, he says, no, I'm not doing that. And the Shach says, no, if this is not considered to be, this is the raya. The Tachta learns from the alien is a raya. So the question is, to what extent do I rely on the alien? To give me an indication, it's not a full raya, or it's mamish or raya brura tells me what it means. The Tachta of the alien. Because the Shaila, what's the other side? The other side is maybe he changed his mind. Originally he wrote Chanani, he changed his mind. He got to this, it's Chanani. So the Gemara wants to say, according to the Shach, says no. To say that he changed his mind in such a way, he would not do that. He would clarify himself more and not to make that mistake.
So what is the issue here? Who's claiming here what?
Hanan says it's mine. Hanani says it's mine.
So
The top of the shtar says Hanani. The bottom of the shtar says Hanan.
and something's erased on the bottom or not?
Machlekes with Rishbam and Tosis. According to the Rishbam, there's nothing erased, but it's the only missing.
He wrote one
If
last
something's
letter.
erased, then it's a very bad race.
Oh, and Tosis is still erased. And still you could say erased because it was he made a mistake. He wrote Hanan and by mistake he added a shin too close, so he erased it.
He has two things against him.
Yeah, no, only one.
And the other guy's holding the star.
No, the top says Hanan. Says Hanan. The bottom says Hanan, and then there's something erased. Says, yeah, you know why you erased? The reason why it's erased, because the guy made a mistake. The next word, he put it too close, so he erased it. So it's only two against him. It says Hanan is
He's
Megbi.
holding the star.
So that's Machlekes.
Yeah, but okay. So if Haran's holding the star, if Hanan had to say to take it, that's very.
It's very hard. So according to right,
Difficult to say.
the Shach, I hear. So the Shach, according to Tosis, will be a little harder to say. Okay. Says the Gemara, Shitali, it's clear to me, Sefel milamalo vekefel milamato. Well, here's my difference, Sefel and Kefel. What is Sefel and Kefel? Rashbam learned Sefel and Kefel is two words. Sefel means a bowl, and Kefel means clothing that are folded. That's what he learns. The Tosis brings over here other pshatim. He says either pshat is that it's Sefel is 60 palge, Sefel, Pei Lamed stands for palge, and Samech stands for 60 palge, and Kuf means Kuf palge, or he brings a pshat of Rabbi Chananel that he means that it says Sefel is Seyo upalgo, and Kefel means Kav upalgo. So measures.
Yeah.
Right. And the big difference between the two pshat of Tosis is what is greater, the bottom or the top. According to the first pshat of Tosis, the bigger one is at the bottom because it says Shishi Palge or Mea Palge. Mea Palge is more than Shishi Palge. But if you learn Seyo Palgo and Kav Palgo, Kav is a sixth of a Seyo. So it's less. So Shala's ratio, there is Nachrim discussing. Maybe you should go in the minimum amount. When do you go? What is minimum according to Tosis? So let me explain what Sefel and Kefel is. So you go based on the bottom one. So again, according to this is where the Chayyim point out. If you hold that the bottom one is less, so then the pshat is you go based on the bottom one because it's less, or maybe not necessarily. Says the Gemara, Baya Popo Kefel milamalo v'Sefel milamato mai. Whatever is the opposite. So why should it be? What should be different? Michashinin lezvuv oiloi tekoi. What is this zvuv? The zvuv here is like this. You have in the bottom Sefel. Now, in the top you have Kefel. The shaila is maybe the bottom also had a kuf. But the bottom of the kuf, there was zvuv is a fly. The fly came on the ink and changed the letter a little bit. Instead of being with a letter like this, it's connected like this. So that's why, because you want to rely on it. So if the Tachtoit says kefel, so clearly not. Why is that? Rishonim point out the Zvuv doesn't make the letter longer. It makes it shorter.
Right.
So therefore, if the kuf at the bottom, you rely on the bottom. The bottom is the main one. But if I have kefel on top, and the bottom I have sefel, maybe the Zvuv move the samach put together. So that's a raya that so what's this take? I'm not sure. Now here, in the Chayim, they have a discussion. One second, there's another difference between samach and kuf. Samach is closed in top. Kuf is open. So you want to tell me that not only that he closed the bottom, he also closed the top? That both happened? So they bring a raya from here that they used to write the kuf with no hole in the middle. The kuf went to the top. You connect the bottom line of the kuf to the top part of the kuf. And there's no, and it's similar to a ches. A discussion, how do you write the letter kuf? Here's where the Achrein, the one I was mentioning before, the many Achrein say, don't bring a raya from here to Hilchos Sefer Torah. Because here's the shtaris. Shtaris, they didn't mark how to write it. It could be right. It was easier for them to put a kuf and the bottom was connected to the top. It's fine. That's what they did shtaris. Doesn't mean the Hilchos Sefer Torah could do the same thing. That's why that discussion not necessarily brings a raya, but this is where you see the idea of this vuv going from the top and the bottom. And the Gemara says, we're not so sure regarding that. Now here, before we go on, the Rashbam tells us a very important yesod, which not all the Rishonim agree to. What do we do, Takos? What are you going to do? So the Rashbam, Takos. Why? We don't know what to do, so what do? You have to leave it by the machzik. Sometimes we divide it. The Hassam, he says, then we don't know what happened.
Right.
I don't know what happened. So therefore, you can place kilo basis. Then you say split. I don't know what the halacha is. So Rashbam gives us a big yesod. When I don't know what to do, you can't do anything. If I don't know what happened, it's a different story. I don't know what happens. It's not a problem by me in the dayanim. Not that we're shoiskim. We just figure out what to do. So maybe we'll do cholkim. You don't know. I don't know. We'll divide it. But dayanim, you machzik. The Taisis that learns in a few places in Chas, he says difference is different. The difference is when you don't know Metzias, there's no way to figure it out. Shosh out the part, I can figure it out. There's no way to figure it out. But dayanim, I don't know. Maybe one day we will sit down and we'll figure this sugya, and someone will come with the halacha. And what happens is some days later they figure out the halacha. So you can't come now and take the money because I don't know what.
I hate to say that it's short in part. Somebody come in the future and give it. I was there.
The pashtus says sugar par like this. We have it early in this second too.
Yeah, I know.
My boy Veshema. The boy says that sugar par. We assume nobody was there. I mean nobody. Not for a biasol of Alim, maybe easier his case. They crashed. Who died first? We don't know. Nobody was there. Right. And there's no way to figure it out. And Yavel Yo, that's not Yavel Yo. Okay.
But this would only fit in according to the person that said that the money's by a third person. One person had the money.
Why? How do I? When the third person is a little bit of a problem.
When you say chokin,
no, he's not chokin. He says muksuk.
Correct.
He just holds on to it.
But this is only according to that if one person, but if the money was in
by a third person is more of a problem.
Then you would say chokin. If one person had it, you wouldn't say chokin.
No, so the Rashbam learns that one of the arguments you have over your sefel or kefel, you don't know what to do. Let's use one of the pshatim. It's either 60 or 100. So 60 he gets for sure. The other ones he doesn't get at all, because that. If it's a third party holding on to it, the chor it's more of a problem if you have a machlekes this way, because the third party knows for sure it's not mine.
Right.
So how do you do?
There's no muksuk.
There's no muksuk. The chor muksuk over here means you're taking out one party is holding on to it. The other one says you owe me. He says okay, I'll give you what you know for sure. What you don't know, I'm holding on to it. It's muksuk. Says the Gemara, Ahu de'avo ksibe shit meo v'zuzo. It says in the shtar 601 zuz. So we don't know what 600 refers to. Shocher of Sharvia Kamei De'abaye Shit Meo Easter V'zuz. It doesn't mean Easter. Easter means sloim, right? Which is said before, which is the big coin. Or Dimo Shit Meo Priti V'zuz. Priti V'zuz is very very low. Brutus we said before. As we say, how many Brutus do we have? It says 192 in a dinner. Amalei dal priti delechtiva b'shtara. We don't put pratim in the shtara. The asuke maskelo. If you do have to mention, you add it. You put it in a klolus, right? Because every 192 is 1 dinar. You're not going to say 600. You're going to say it's a 3 dinarim and change. Right? And it says the one that puts them Zion. You're going to add it together. You're going to sum it up together. Maybe you'll tell me Shit Me'ah Easter of a zuzah. Maybe you'll tell me it's 600 sloim in a zuz. Says the Gemara. Now here we have different girsos. Our girso is Shit Me'ah or according to our girso, or maybe Shit Me'ah zuzah v'chad zuzah. Maybe it means 600 zuz in a zuz.
Right.
Says the Gemara. Yaba shta dachtoino. Yeah, you don't know. So you understand. You don't know what it means. So you always take the lesser amount. So is it a sela or a zuz? Where is zuz is a zuz? That's our girso. When the girso there is in parentheses. That's what the Rashbam learns. The Rashbam brings another girso, and the girso of Rechanan. He says, Easter in the Hinun Kol Easter. So they say Easter. It says the Rashbam, the Hinun Easter Hal go the zuzah. It's a half a zuz. Meaning he learns that we're talking about the smaller sloy. The Sela Tsuri, as we always learn in Shas, is 8 times Sela Medina. What is Sela Medina? Every Sela has 4 zuz, 4 dinar. Zuz and dinar are the same thing. So every Sela has 4 dinar and 4 zuz. Every Sela Tsuri, every Sela Medina is a half a zuz. So he says, the Rebbeinu Chanana learns, the Gemara says, you want to tell me Easter is zuzah? No, it's Shema Isterah with the Aleph, which is the first one. Oh, so Zogda, let's end this Rashbam. Nearly the Zuzi Kappa. Zuzi. The Easter Avu Sloy. That's what regular Easter is. Easter with a Halip, Shiteininu, Vadaya Pagin the Zuz Davazel Mentino, Kedarim Hasa, so the Rashbam learns that's not what he means to. So when you're saying 600 of a Zuz, you're not referring to half a Zuz. Is that to the chat? Why? Because maybe it is less than the Zuz. So therefore it's either the Zuz or the Sloim, and we go with the lesser amount, which is 600 zuz.